Have you heard of point? No, it's 0 point energy. Have you heard this before?
Yes, if 0 point energy is referring to the energy of the vacuum of space, then
Yeah.
yes.
So there is this podcast that I watched recently. I never heard of it before, and it suddenly just popped up on my feed. It's called the Sean Ryan podcast, and he had this guy, Dr. Stephen Greer, on there. I believe Rogan had him on once too, but I had never seen the episode with Rogan. But I heard Stephen mention it on one of the pods he did with Sean Ryan. Have you ever seen the Sean Ryan podcast?
No, I don't think I have seen the Sean Ryan podcast. Like maybe I've seen an episode from it, but yeah, it's not coming back into my memory like it is.
Yeah, like I haven't been watching it from the beginning, so I couldn't say exactly what it is. I've just seen a couple episodes now, and it seems he brings on whistleblowers on there and just like conspiracy theory guys. And I don't really know what to make of Dr. Stephen Greer because he has like just all of these wild claims, and when he speaks very well, and he's very clear in his message, and he speaks in like absolute, like as if he knows exactly what he's saying to be true. And I just don't know what to make of it. So what he's been doing over the last 30 years is studying UFO sightings, studying UFO landings, um, talking with the ex-CIA guys and government officials. He's done a bunch of what's it called when you not when you console with a president, but you sort of give advice to a president.
Yeah.
So he's done that a lot on many different subject matters, and he claims that this is him. He claims that the using the terminology UFO is incorrect. He says, what does he say? He says that it's better to use. Oh fuck, I can't remember. But he names two different types. One of them is human-made flying objects, and the other one is alien. So we got human and alien-made. And what he's saying is that humans over the last I don't know how many years, have actually been able to reverse engineer some of the UFOs or alien spacecrafts that have crashed into Earth. And he even said that some of these alien spacecrafts have crashed into Earth due to some sort of magnetic pulse or something that came from the Earth, which was maybe a few times unintentional and maybe intentional.
When you detonate a nuclear device or there's an accident, everyone knows what an EMP is. We've talked about electromagnetic pulse. There's also a type of scalar pulse that goes out that literally rips through space-time that disrupts interstellar communication and travel. This is why, I was talking to Gordon Crichton, who is an MI6 guy and a military intelligence guy in the United Kingdom who's passed away, but he's one of our witnesses. What he said was basically when we did that at the first atomic bomb explosion, it actually was like kicking a hornet's nest. Now Edward Teller and Oppenheimer, they didn't know that when one of those things would go off that it would create this kind of pulse. So this began to be a huge red flag went up over the Earth. Warning, this is a group of primitive emerging civilization that is a threat to themselves and a threat to others out there.
Man, you guys got to go and check it out. It's Dr. Stephen Greer on the Sean Ryan podcast. But anyways, he says that many of the flying saucers that have been sighted are actually ours, and there is a secret government body that's above like our government body, and they are experimenting on things, and they have technologies, and they're doing, they're doing things in disclosed locations that the government doesn't even know about. And Dr. Stephen Greer has set out over the last 30 years trying to inform the government as well as people that, hey, you guys need to put a stop to this because there's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes that no one knows about. And it's becoming like a great risk to humanity. And he seems to think that this secret government body is going to utilize this alien technology to sort of fake certain circumstances, like fake alien landings or alien attacks, make us believe that alien ships are coming to Earth. Meanwhile, it's just this like secret government body implementing these like strategies in order to gain control and power.
Their whole purpose is to create sort of a global militarized totalitarian superstate of the world fighting another world. It's like War of the Worlds.
Okay.
And that's been a 70-year defense plan. And I know people who've seen that plan. Carol Rosin saw the plan, who is Werner von Braun's spokesperson, who's on our team. And she's almost 80 now, but brilliant mind. And, you know, when she realized in the 70s that this was what was afoot, her whole life was devoted to trying to get some of these projects under control. But we're little David's up against an enormous Goliath. The truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off. But it's time for people to, actually realize that this is something they have to take seriously.
And he's saying that it's very easy to distinguish between an alien aircraft and a human-made one, because the human-made one is usually a mix of our technology along with the alien technology. So he's like, he gives like clues as to how people would be able to discern between like an alien aircraft and a human aircraft.
How are you able to tell which one of these are man-made versus ET?
At a great distance, you would know. If you're up close enough, the man-made ones are going to have components, protrusions, electromagnetic. Often they're going to be seams, welding marks. Underneath, there could be pipes and other things. It's very clearly a man-made machine. The extraterrestrial ones, seamless. They're extruded in this process of how they create them. Even the light they give off is very different because it's coming through such pure material science, extremely pure materials. I would love to get Dr. Jacques Vallée to release this document he has from 1985. It's a CIA official document, and it describes the CIA conducting abductions, alien abductions in Brazil and Argentina, quote, for their psychological warfare value.
And basically these alien ships are powered by 0-point energy. And 0-point energy, if harnessed in the right way, is, I guess, the best clean energy that we could have. It's better than fission. What's it called? Molecular fission or fusion?
Nuclear fusion or fission, yeah.
Yeah, nuclear fission. And he claims that because it takes a lot of energy to actually cause atoms to collide and create fusion or fission, and that there's a lot of energy that goes into sort of doing that, whereas 0-point energy is absolutely just free energy. And it could be used to power houses, cities, cars. He said that if you take a coffee cup, like a regular sized coffee cup, a coffee cup full of this 0-point energy is enough to cause all of the oceans to turn to vapor in the world. So he says it's very, very efficient, and it has this incredible, immense power. And the government has been doing a really great job at sabotaging any sort of advancements in that technology in terms of providing it to our planet as a way of an alternate energy source. And this all started like more than 100 years ago, because according to him, we've had this technology for a long time.
How did Tesla do it?
Tesla, I think, was actually capturing resonant magnetic field energy of the Earth that's almost boundless. So there are a lot of, quote, free energy approaches. I think the ones that use these very high voltage systems that create a sort of a vector, a tap, as it were, into this quantum vacuum energy and zero-point energy field. Those began to be stumbled across, but sort of episodically as a phenomenon back in the late 1800s, because that was the heyday when they were first discovering electromagnetism. And I think Maxwell and Faraday, some of these guys stumbled across this, but they didn't know what it was. You were getting more energy out than you had to put in. So I think you can have a rotational coil-based device. Floyd Sweet, who we feature in the movie, had a solid-state device that was about this big that could run a 300 horsepower electric engine for your car.
Tesla came across this technology, and many people after Tesla have stumbled upon versions of this technology. And each time, this dark secret government group has found a way to sabotage that technology going to market. One, by just shelving it. They would just like, listen, like, we'll give you this much money, sell it to us, and never speak about it again. And they would just shelve it. Other situations, they would just straight up just take it. And there's been even other events where they've murdered the person who was sort of creating it.
What I'm trying to do is bring to the light how many corporations would be pissed off if we did hit 0-point energy. The gas industry, power industry.
Oh, sure.
The car industry.
It's huge. Well, the car energy would just have to pivot to the type of motor and an electric motor with a 0-point generator. Your public utilities eventually will retire because every home business will have its own energy source. Now, the only thing you'd really need oil for is chemicals, petrochemicals, plastics, things like that. And I don't think we have 100 years left to fix it. I don't think we have 20. The rest of the world will be able to go from having nothing in the way of energy generation, 3 billion people have no power energy at all, to having these systems. And suddenly you're going to see so much happen in the world that is going to be a human advancement. And aside from the air and everything becoming pristine and clean, there are going to be such great opportunities for, the dispossessed people of the world.
Sean Ryan also had a couple of other whistleblowers that had experience working in relation to the this dark, like my secret government body as well. Have you heard any whistleblowers talk about working with like that, like a dark government body or a secret government body?
Yes, to a degree. Look, I must admit, I haven't got too much into this kind of stuff, only because, like you mentioned earlier, all the people kind of tend to speak with like definitives and like so much certainty that's like a little bit off-putting for me. And I don't know, my default sort of feeling towards all of these is like, if there really was, and these people were talking about it, I feel like they would be dead. Like, if this secret body was so powerful and had all this technology, like they just like, and they didn't want to be known about, then like anyone that mentioned them just be like, bye, or disappeared, or like, and if the technology really is that great, I feel like they would just erase it from the timeline for me. And I just doubt that he would be openly allowed to be out there talking about it if they're really trying to keep it a secret. So I don't know. There seems to be like, for me, there's a bunch of contradictions, but I still find it interesting. The 0-point energy stuff is big. There's another guy, Nima Asami Hadid or someone. He's like a physicist. He talks about 0-point energy all the time. And it's a long thing we could get into about like why it is that way. But the biggest thing is like harnessing it and actually utilizing it. And that like seems to be nearly impossible. Or very, very difficult. So like if they have actually found a way, that would be a game changer. Because there is just, a huge amount of energy in like all things, really. Like anything with mass has a ridiculous amount of energy in it. And so like you mentioned the coffee, or he said the coffee cup has enough energy in it to vaporize the ocean. In a sense, that kind of is true. It's just like, how do you release or harness that energy? Now with the UAP, unidentified alien. Wait, UAP?
I can't remember either. There's so many different ways to say it.
I'm not good with the lingo. But the one thing that I will say is very interesting is I saw a tweet just the other day saying that Operation Blue People or something like, I'll pull it up in a second. let's just say it's Blue People. Operation Blue People is a go. And the government is about to start declassifying like documents on, aliens, saying that they've known about them for a long time and they've got this technology that's really dangerous, and they're going to use it as a mechanism to like stop us or inhibit anyone working on certain technologies. And they're going to use it to like confiscate stuff, and it's just going to be used as like a massive repression tool. Again, have you heard of anything in regards to that?
Yeah, I have actually. Can you elaborate a little bit more about what you're talking about before I mention what I was thinking
Okay,
of?
so
Because
this, I'll just pull it up. Give me 1 second. This person on Twitter, came up in my recommended, which is kind of a fun place to explore. Just give me 1 second to get my Wi-Fi. Anyway, so he posted it saying that like the government's, and this is already happening. So the government's already started talking about UFOs and declassifying certain information. And remember there was the White House release of like, yes, we've known about some of these UFOs. Here's the footage. Here's this. It was kind of used as like a distraction. And they released a bunch of stuff, but there was nothing really in it. Like it was kind of empty. Like it looks good from far, but was far from good when you actually sort of inspected it. And apparently this is a new tactic that's going to be used to elicit levels of control on us that we've not had before. So I'm just pulling the tweet up. Give me a second. But I found this very fascinating. This guy was saying that they're going to release the fact that there are these alien technologies, but they're incredibly dangerous, and we've got to control them. We can't let people know about them. We can't do this. So, and that anyone working on anything that could reach the potential of these technologies won't be able to. You've got to hand over your IP and do all this kind of stuff. So it could tie into this government, this above government agency you're talking about. But yeah, either way, I find all of these things incredibly fascinating.
he is super fascinating, and I'm not saying that any of it's true. I just this rabbit hole I stumbled upon this week that I thought was super interesting to talk about, because it's so hard to just know what the fuck
to
is
know anything
going on. Yeah, because there's just information overload constantly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but you made a great point. If they are all that powerful, how is Stephen Greer able to just trot around America, having these conferences, whistleblowing conferences out in the open, going on podcasts out in the open, and they haven't murdered him, right?
Correct. Yeah, no, that to me is like the big red flag. That's why I like everything with a grain of salt. Like I still like, if I have some spare time and energy, it is interesting to explore these things, because we don't know what else is out there. Like there's a huge amount of unknowns, and so it is kind of intriguing. And it would be, I think it would be kind of cool to think that there is that alien technology and that there is all this other potential. Like I think that would be a game changer for humanity if utilized. But like again, we discussed like anything with sufficient power can be used for both good or bad, or negative or positive, so to speak. So it's up to us to utilize it. Are we capable of doing that currently? I don't know. One way to see is have it and see, kind of thing. Anyway, so I've got this tweet up. I'll share it with you, and then it's quite long, but then I'll read it out.
Okay.
So we can overlay. This to me was very interesting, right? So okay, this is how it starts off. The guy's name is Michael Guimarin, and he says, "Attention. Operation Bluebeam Aliens is a go. The largest disinformation campaign in human history is beginning. Over the next few months, the governments of the world are going to reveal that for hundreds of years they have had access to alien technology. That previous governments allowed this technology to be guarded and studied in secret by government labs, then third-party contractors. But due to changes in perspective and values, or plus values and threats to national security, these companies will no longer be permitted to have this alien technology. Going forward, for our safety, the governments are going to reconfiscate this technology and ban all non-approved research." They will enact a level of censorship and surveillance, as well as military funding to fight the alien threat, unlike what we have ever seen. There might even be bodies, but no non-approved independent DNA testing, etc. Oh, they're aliens. They don't have DNA. It's also exotic. And it's all a lie. There are no aliens. There is advanced human civilization tech lost to history, like what Nikola Tesla worked on, that has the potential to disrupt the entire order. The proliferation of independent research into the technology, as well as the desire for totalitarian surveillance, are driving this disinformation campaign of blue beaming us. It is the independent people developing this tech via sharing nodes over the internet, which most threatens the status quo. That is the real goal and the motive behind this sudden disclosure. Changing government stance on this tech, which everyone from the US to the Nazis has been in a race to acquire. Yes, this is what cults like the Egyptians and the Illuminati were doing. All efforts will be aimed at requiring compliance to a new research data censorship regime. No independent research into alien technology will be permitted. They might even go as far as to ban encryption for fear that people are trading illegal alien technology in secret. The word has gone out and I'm now hearing it. The word has gone out and I'm now hearing it from multiple contacts throughout the government. This is so bold, I still can't believe it. My best hope is I'm totally wrong and I'll have to retract this in a few months. We are seeing the selective release of UAP talking points throughout the info environment by previous node regime actors. I don't know if Twitter is compromised and big gaps. Incredible. The question you should be asking your friends to ask is, why now? Why now? The answer is that the internet is preventing the control and classification of previously secret info. That's the tweet. We can link it in the description.
So that coincides with what Dr. Stephen Greer has set out to do. One of his goals is to actually get governments to realize what these secret government groups are doing and sort of prevent them from advancing certain, like a few of these, of the technologies that could harm humans actually. So that post actually does coincide with some of the things that I heard Greer saying on the Sean Ryan podcast, which is super, super interesting. And one of the whistleblowers that Sean Ryan had on, and this is like the most out there shit that I think I heard on that podcast, was this one guy. He was contracted by Raytheon, I believe, to work in the Antarctica. He was there from 2010 to 2011. And I can't remember what his role was exactly, but, well, he had two roles there. He was the head of the firefighting unit, and as well as like
the firefighting unit on a island device.
Yeah, it already sounds like bullshit, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm sure there's the legitimate reasons for little fires and stuff like that, but yeah, it is a giant island device.
So what he blew the whistle on was that they have technologies that they're working on there that can actually cause earthquakes, and there's other technologies that can sort of implant thoughts in people's minds as well. And he claims that the earthquake in 2011, I think it was, near Australia and New Zealand, was actually caused by this experiment they were doing in the Antarctica. And it wasn't done on purpose, but it was an accident, and it actually caused this, that was the cause of the earthquake, supposedly, according to this guy that was, he had clearance to like the entire place because of the two roles that he had. So he was like one of the only guys with the clearance. So he was able to sort of get understanding of everything that was going on there. And
I physically held a key that opened every single door in the facility. I had complete access to every compartment they manufactured.
What are you blowing the whistle on?
That there are technologies at the South Pole Station that people can't even consider that exist on this planet. Directed energy weapon systems is something that people need to get in their vocabulary fast. The ice cube neutrino detector is not simply a passive listening device as presented for the science that they're claiming it to do. It also has the capacity to transmit. There are embedded in the ice what are called digital optical modules, DOMs. They're about the size of a basketball. The array embedded in the ice is 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. It is the world's largest telescope. And now, because we have proven that it can transmit, it's the world's largest directed energy weapons system. It is responsible for the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand.
that's what he claims. And he says that he also said that this is probably the craziest thing that he said was McDonald's is currently trying to get their hands on the technology to implant thoughts into people's mind about McDonald's, about going to buy McDonald's. I don't know, how the fuck it works, but apparently that technology exists. Have you heard of it before?
Yeah, isn't it? It's like television and media. Isn't that how you like mimesis? Is it? Don't we already have that technology? Is it a memes? Like, isn't it like marketing and like a whole bunch of other shit?
You're right. He refers to it as like another voice in your head, is what he refers to it. And fuck, I can't remember the scientific terminology he used to explain how it works, but basically they can sort of implant like these specific, very specific thoughts in your head, which it's like what you're saying through marketing, but it's deeper than that, is what he claims.
Yeah, I'd be kind of skeptical of that, just like because like we all humans like are similar in a sense, but we're all very diverse in the like we're not computationally homogenous in the way that our brains would work and go through it. So I would be skeptical that you would be able to like, plan a specific voice in somebody's head without knowing like the detailed sort of intricate workings and structure, models that a person's running on, so to speak. But yeah, look, I'm open to it. If they show me some stuff and we can read about it, for sure, I'd be more likely to believe it. But at this point, I'm just like, yeah, this is just like a bunch of crackpots. Also, funny side note, that guy that was the contractor, like, he's for sure not getting hired again. Like, it's fucking idiot, like, I don't know. I would like to meet some of these people in real life just to like get a, like how when you're with somebody in person, you can, okay. Well, so when you're near somebody in person, you get a vibe, like, and it sounds weird to say you get a vibe, but like, what do they say? 93% or 97% of communication is nonverbal, right? It's like subtle body language cues and eye movement and different like little traits with their body. I would love to just sit with some of these people and ask them like questions and like look into their eyes and like sort of like get a read on them, if that makes sense. On a podcast, you can sort of do that, but like I feel like in person is like the highest data throughput, like it's the highest bandwidth form of communication. Because I feel like a lot of these people are just like attention seekers, like I feel like this is like the, you have fitness influencers that Photoshop their photos and do all this crazy shit to get more attention. Then you have like these people who are like come up with crazy outlandish shit to try and get attention. And I just don't know. But the Antarctica stuff is actually fascinating. Why is it fascinating to me? Well, there are some like interesting, don't know if they're 100% real or true, like scans of the Earth that show that there are some like decent size structures in Antarctica. But I also think the same thing is true for the Arctic. Like I think that there is a decent chance that if they melt, right, we might find that there were civilizations that lived on these poles.
I believe that.
You know, yeah, I think that I think you know, Randall, what is it, Randall Carlson and oh my god, who's the other guy that does it with him? We spoke about him before.
I'm not sure who you mean, guy.
Graham Hancock, that's the one.
Fucking love that
Talk
guy.
about like, yeah, same. And so it's just interesting that, you know, human history is actually longer than what we have been told. All right. And, you know, if you look at when the Bible was written and came out, or, you know, like was started to become popular, that's like, you know, you have BC and AD, you know, like the timelines, right? Like apparently there is evidence to show that humans have been in a similar form to they are now for longer than what we previously thought. Yeah. And so I think it could be entirely likely that, you know, there was civilizations that got to a level of advancement that's like in a completely different direction to how we've advanced, you know, like different technologies. Like you look at the pyramids and the stones and all of that sort of stuff. That, yeah, develop these other technologies that could have been and gone, and that we've forgotten, or we don't have the remnants, or that their remnants are covered under, you know, like, you know, thousands of meters of ice or hundreds of meters of ice, and so we can't find them yet. I think that's a plausible thing. That could be a real thing. I don't know if it's 100% true. I'm not going to speak like, that's definitely for sure true or anything. Like, I'm not going to speak certainly like these other people, but I think it's interesting. I think it's plausible.
Apparently there's been a breakthrough recently where a team of scientists they dug a hole. I can't remember if it was in the Antarctica or in like the North Pole, but they dug a small hole using hot water and I don't know, some other technique. It took them a very long time. And they finally like got through all the ice. They sent a camera down. And when they sent a camera down, it hit water, right? And then they got really good footage of this like underwater ecosystem that was able to
Atlantis.
What's that? Atlantis? Yo, what's his name? You just mentioned him. Fuck. Our guy.
Graham Hancock or Randall Carlson.
He's got a couple of theories of where Atlantis could have been, but then he also says that Atlantis probably wasn't just one place. It was like many places as well. There could have been many different Atlantises.
Yeah. I think it could just be, Atlantis could have just been a term that yes, people use for places that had advanced technology.
Yeah. But this breakthrough, what they found was there was like this ecosystem underneath the ice that didn't require sunlight in order to survive. And they found it was very like a thriving ecosystem there. And they also got some footage of some land formations that they claimed couldn't have been naturally made, that something made these land formations. So, I mean, the ice wasn't always there, right? So there was a time when there was likely a very flourishing ecosystem in that part of the world. So it's very possible that people did live there and possibly even constructed things as well, right?
Yeah. Look, the reality is like we like to speak with certainty about a lot of things as humans. You know, like this is definitely how it happened in the past. Like the way that light codes work, like you can't tell that much. You know, it's like these are sort of, you know, what people call educated guesses, but you can't forget that they're guesses. And, you know, like they can be informed by theories and you know levels of knowledge, but they're still fallible. Like there's still going to be holes there. Like there's still assumptions that need to be made. Like another interesting thing is like if you read history, like there's a good saying with history. It's like it's told by the victors. So when you read history, you have to understand like this is from a certain reference frame. This is from a certain perspective, and like that's probably not exactly how it happened. There's probably many different sides to the story and different experiences for different people in those scenarios and in that history. But yeah, it is actually fascinating about the alien stuff. But like I'm a big fan of this Wolfram Physics project and the Wolfram bottle, and like in a sense, like if you are into that, like you kind of realize that like everything around us is alien in some sense. Yeah, like they're all alien. Like bugs, plants, animals, they're all alien intelligence, right? And it's like, are we talking like we co-evolved on this planet? But they are alien to us. Like, you can't easily communicate with whales and stuff, although there are projects now, which is cool, using machine learning and artificial intelligence. So, like that could be on the horizon. But I think it probably will be on the horizon. It just might be a little bit leaky to start with. But like, yeah, there are aliens all around us. Whether or not there are things from other planets or other areas that are evolved in those areas that have come over to check us out or anything else, I don't know. I like that there's random sort of, or not random tangent, but like slightly tangential is I like these theories of people who are like, oh, we won't get accepted into the Galactic Starfleet until we prove that we can manage, like, be kind and caring to all of the living species on this planet, or until we prove that we could, like, not be a fucking clown show with our governments and all this other stuff. Or once we develop a certain level of technology, we'll be contacted by the Federation, and they'll come down and accept us into the Starship Enterprise. Yeah, like it's not Starship Enterprise, into the Galactic Federation, right? So I kind of like, that's kind of fun to think about sometimes as well. But like, there is all this other stuff out there, and we're sort of like, we're in this little ignorance bubble at the moment. And once we develop a certain level of knowledge and technology, that then will be like, the curtain will be pulled back, and it'll be like, oh shit, this was everywhere. We never even saw it.
I agree. And you made a good point. Like, there's aliens all around us. I think that's true because there's been many asteroid or comets that have crashed into Earth that have brought, for sure, other types of, matter or bacteria. They even hypothesized that a majority of the water that's on Earth came from outer space as well.
Guy, everything on Earth came from outer space. Well, we live in outer space.
Right. But you know what I mean?
But I know. Yeah, I know. We are in outer space, homie. Like,
yeah, that's true.
We just forget about
space. Yeah, it's a great point.
We just forget about it. But another crazy thing is the only reason sort of, we can exist the way that we exist, the way that we evolved, is because a star blew up and, transmuted the hydrogen and the rest of it into the different elements that make us up, that commingle and interact to produce all of this diversity. Without that, like, we are stardust. That's just a crazy thing. Like we really are. Like, we wouldn't be possible without a star blowing up.
All right, so I got one more story about this whistleblower that was on the Sean Ryan podcast. This one got me, though. This one fucked me up. Like, this one, I was like, damn, I don't know. I believe it. I think I believe it. I don't know if I wholeheartedly believe it yet.
You want to believe it.
I want to believe this one. This one's good. This one's fucking good. Are you ready?
I'm pumped. Let's go.
No, this one's fucking, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, it's not like super crazy. It's just really cool. It's a really cool story. So this guy, Michael Herrera. He was in the, what was it? He's in the military, but he was specifically a Marine, I believe. Yeah. And I believe this happened to him in 2009. They were in Indonesia, and he got selected to sort of do this, what's it called? This mission, right? I don't remember the details of the mission, but anyways, him and 5 other Marines had to go to this island in Indonesia. So they get there, And there's these helicopters flying over them, and the helicopters are carrying like these big like boxes. What are they called? Fucking up the story already. You know, like they put on ships to transport goods.
Pallets or shipping containers.
Yeah, like containers. So these helicopters are flying over them, one after another, carrying these containers. So they're like, "Yo, what the fuck's going on? Like, let's go to where they're taking them because it was close by. See what the fuck's going on." So they had to go up like this hill. Sorry, you just shared something with me.
This is Michael. This is the article relating to your story. So keep telling your story. I just put it up.
Okay. Oh, holy fuck. This might be it. Yeah, this is it. Holy fuck. Okay. So now I'm not going to get every detail right about this story because, I mean,
You're an idiot.
yeah, I'm forgetting some of the details, but I'm going to try and do my best here. So they start going up this hill, about 200-300 meters, he says. And they just are starting to get over the hill, and they can see like there's like a dip down, right? And they see something, this fucking thing. That's basically what they see. This weird thing sort of just hovering in the air. And the noise that it's making it's like if you were to turn on a speaker, you just get like that white noise, you know, like the sound. And they don't really know what the fuck they're looking at because they're still sort of far away from where this thing is. So they start walking a little bit closer, and they get to maybe 150 meters away from it. And as they're getting closer, they meet up with people from that site, and they kind of look like military as well, sort of, but they're all like blacked out, like black hat, black vest, black everything. And then they have like all,
were those like men? Were they men in black?
Yeah, men in black. And they were dressed like, you know, like advanced, like military with all the brand new technology, brand new guns, everything top notch, but everything was just black, no name tags, no symbols, nothing, right?
Just
and he said, what's that?
Like just letters?
Just letters?
No, like letters, like J or K.
No, nothing. He said nothing. He said he was unable to identify them at all. And there was a bunch of them, you know, a lot more of them than they. In that article, it says a team of 6. I remember him saying it was a team of 5. But anyways, it's a minor detail.
When we trekked down and got around 150 to 200 meters from it, all of a sudden we were engaged, at least not in a hostile manner, at least, you know, not gunfire or firefight or anything like that. But the way that these guys moved was so fluid, it was so still, it was very, very, very smooth. And the gear that they had was black OTV vests. They had black camouflage utilities.
What you're saying is there would have been no they were professionals.
Yeah, and that's where you kind of picked up the hum that this object was doing, along with these guys flipping their safeties off, especially M4s. You know, it's very distinct sound. And they started yelling at us. "You're not supposed to fucking be here. What the fuck are you guys doing here? Who the fuck are you with?" At one point, they said they were going to smoke us. They could throw us out of a helicopter. It's very easy to get lost in the jungle out here. You know, they kept saying stuff like that. They're having 2 guys watch while there's a guy basically taking our magazines out of our vest. They actually knew where our military IDs were because in Marine Corps order, you have to have them in your left breast pocket. So as they're searching us, we're watching this thing happen. And that's when we started seeing trucks come from our left and go onto this platform. And they were up armored 350s. I know exactly what 350s are.
And he and Michael Herrera is still looking at like this fucking thing that he doesn't really know what it is, but it's like turning ever so slowly like this, and it's hovering. Right, but it's not moving up and down. It's just in one spot, and he could just hear that noise. And the guys approach them, and they're pissed off. They're like, "Yo, what the fuck are you guys doing here?" They're threatening to kill them. They're taking their guns. They have he said that they had like American accents. They were very professional. It looked like they done this before. They were just like really good at maneuvering the situation and trying to get them the fuck out of there. Meanwhile, they're threatening to kill them. And meanwhile, Michael is just captured by this fucking thing, right? Then he says, a door, like a flapped open like this from this floating object. And those containers that the helicopters were bringing were being loaded into that craft. Because at this point, he's like, yeah, it's looking like a fucking spaceship, right?
Yeah.
He says that there was a couple of lights he could see, and it was like had the ship itself was like a very, very dark black, and he said it was like a color that it was able to absorb light, which I don't really know what he meant by that, but he says it just seemed like
That's black.
that's okay. It was just like this type of black that he hasn't seen before. And again, it's just spinning like this, and they're loading onto these crates or these containers onto the ship. Meanwhile, these guys are like fucking with them, taking their weapons and everything. And then suddenly, the ship just lifts like this and shoots like over the tree line. And he says it happened in like a split second. Like if you blinked, you wouldn't be able to see it. He said the acceleration of the ship was incomprehensible. It just lifted up and boom, not quick. And they said he said it went so fucking fast and it just cleared like the tree line, but there was no there was no motion. I mean, usually when
no, it didn't disturb the wind, or it didn't didn't create like sonic boom or anything like that.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And finally, the men in black decided to let those guys finally go. He later met up with another whistleblower years later, and that other whistleblower let him know that in those containers were people. That this dark government, agency that's above the government that's sort of running these missions, that's what they're doing with this technology. They're human trafficking, drug trafficking, and whatever else.
And that's when I started seeing the key details of this thing. Like it had like a scale pattern on it, kind of like an octagonal, because the craft itself was like an octagonal shape where you could see points. It had like these vents on every single corner on the middle part of these the panels anyway. There was like a Vanta black. It was like a dark black that would like absorb light. But they had weapon cases in the back of each truck bed. And then they had a shipping container thing. I mean, it looked like a shipping container, but smaller and half the size. For years, I thought, okay, there's got to be oxygen supply or like a vacuum sealing thing that you would, because obviously I'm thinking it's drugs. I was like, okay, so this is a very advanced way to do that. Just years of thinking of this. Come to find out, when I gave my speech in D.C. on that Saturday for the Disclosure Project with Dr. Greer, this gentleman, I'm not going to give any detail. I know a little bit about him. He's aware of what was going on. He confirmed, he says, no, he's like, I don't want to leave Michael hanging out there, but I was not expecting to come and talk to you about this. And he says, there's not drugs that they're putting in these shipping containers. He says it's humans.
And that fucking story just it blew me away, dude. Like I thought it was, for some reason,
why wouldn't
it
they
sounded
just kill him?
believable.
Yeah, of course. I get that, but why would they just buy and then they don't have to worry about it? Like if that's really what they are doing, why would they let him live, kind of thing?
I know that's like the biggest problem with that story, isn't it?
And why the fuck are they trafficking people like that? You know what I mean? Like,
I know. I got sucked in.
Well, no, look,
It's a good story.
You don't have to become a true believer, so to speak, but it is interesting to hear about these things, and it is kind of intriguing. But again, I'm just it always just baffles me, why wouldn't they just even in the Men in Black, why won't they just be like, boom, wipe your memory, homie, bye?
Yeah, exactly.
Or
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? The other thing, so when people say it's like it absorbs light, right? There's a paint called Vanta Black. And when you paint, it's the darkest, but it's the blackest black that there is. Okay, that's the simplest way to put it. And it absorbs the most amount of light. It just looks ridiculous. It looks fake.
Like Wesley Snipes black?
God, way darker. Way darker.
God,
I'll show you.
Yeah. There can't be a darker black than Wesley Snipes guy.
All right, you're about to see. Around. Yeah, it just looks fake. And like, there's a lot
Whatever
of things to
happened to
say
Wesley
about this.
Snipes, by the way?
Like Tax got it.
Oh, seriously? Yeah, look at this.
Yeah, can you see my
yeah,
screen?
Yeah, that it looks like Wesley Snipes.
Look at this. Look at this car.
Yeah, I mean, having a
Like
car,
it looks stupid.
it does. I like it though. I would love to have a car like Wesley Snipes black. You don't like it? You're not feeling it? You're not feeling the
Nah, it just looks
the black?
it looks dumb. It's so black. Like it's just so it kind of looks like there's nothing there, but then there is something there, if that kind of makes sense. Anyway, that's
Yeah,
the
that's
blackest thing that we've ever created, right?
Yeah.
And so like if the spaceships look like that, then maybe I could sort of believe it. But they always say like it's like this color I've never seen before. It's like, there's pictures of Banta Black, like check that out and then see. I don't know. It just there seems to be lots of holes. But I'm okay. So in regards to that tweet and in regards to what you were talking about on that podcast, I think over the next few weeks and months, like I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that we can sort of like start to piece together a bit more. Like, are the governments going to start releasing more stuff about UFOs, alien technologies, different things like that, acknowledging that they have had access to it? Have they really done it, or is it part of a larger disinformation campaign, or is it part of a larger control mechanism that they're trying to elicit off people? I don't know. But I think like it's probably going to start intensifying over the coming weeks and months. And so we'll be able to maybe revisit this topic over time.
God, I think we will. Guy, tell me this though. Could you see the government pulling off a fake alien invasion to lock us up in our houses like they did COVID?
Yes, I can see them trying. I would hope that they don't. I would hope that they can't and that people would be able to see through it if it was fake. But after the whole previous thing that just went on, I've lost a bit of confidence. I'm not going to lie. But you said you're quite bullish because you think it's wakened, it's made people more aware. So I'm hoping that that's the case. I just, after seeing what happened and, and the mass psychosis that formed, I don't underestimate the power of that anymore. I think I used to, but yeah, I definitely don't. But I'm hoping that they can't.
Yeah, I do believe that people are waking up, and there's more people waking up each day. But you don't have to convince the entire population of anything. You just have to convince a large enough percentage, and that's all you need to do. Because if you get enough people on board, then what? Right? The people who don't believe it, what can they really do? Because there's already enough people believing in it. And if the system has just enough people believing in it, then they can control the other portion that are non-believers as well. Right? I think it's everybody. I think the majority would have to decide. Like, for example, if let's just say an alien invasion did happen and 50% of the population were like, no, this is fucking bullshit, get the fuck out of here. And the other 50% like, no, this is serious, stay at home, right? Well, they're going to try and force the other people to comply as well at the same time. And if the system is getting people to believe that there's an alien invasion, that means you got cops on board, right? Security on board, big companies are on board. So you don't need everybody to believe it for them to achieve what they're trying to achieve, pulling off a fake alien invasion. That's the issue. So we need like 90% of people to wake the fuck up, and we need big business guys, politicians to also wake the fuck up too.
Yeah, but it's in their best interest not to, because it's like a mechanism for control. If that's what it is, if it's a fake alien invasion that they're using to elicit levels of control, but like, why would they? But the other thing that's just made me laugh when you were talking about that, like, stay at home. It's like, why the fuck would you stay at home if there's an alien invasion? Like, if they're invading and you don't put up a fight, like you're going to be fucked anyway. So like, you may as well go out and actually try and do something. Yes. So you go.
I don't think it's rational that an alien nation would invade us. Like, why the fuck would they invade us? It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's a lot more. It makes a lot more sense to become friends with like another alien race than to invade. I just don't. If they have the technology to get here, they don't need anything from us. They don't need our resources. I don't believe that. It's fucking bullshit. So
unless they've got themselves to a point where they're sterile and they need us for breeding.
Right. They would need us for breeding.
I just fucking with you.
No, but
or they're just like, look at these little things in this petri dish. We're just gonna go fuck around with them for some fun, or like maybe they're sadistic. I don't know. Right, I agree with you though. Like my default is like, why would they want to? Like, if you're a sufficiently advanced alien civilization that has all this amazing technology, like, why would you even care?
Exactly.
And then if you're that advanced, right? This is my solution to all of these problems. It's like, once you get to a certain level of understanding, you just realize that anything in the universe is the universe experiencing itself. It's the universe trying to understand itself, figuring itself out. And so like, and it's sufficiently advanced alien civilization, to me, would realize that they're the universe experiencing themselves. And then they see us, they're like, oh, that's another part of the universe experiencing, itself and figuring itself out. Like, cool. And it's like, lols, but like, I don't get the doom and gloom stuff. I really don't. I don't see a sufficiently advanced alien civilization wanting to go and conquer other planets, because like they would be of the understanding that like, oh no, everything in the universe is just the universe trying to experience itself or figure itself out. Like,
exactly. And to riff off of what you said, if they needed us, would you say they might need us to reproduce? Like if they're having reproduction problems? Okay, so I just want to put this out there. If any alien races are listening and you are having trouble reproducing, I'm your guy. I will fuck any alien, as many alien bitches as you guys need. I will be your savior. I will help you guys reproduce. Come here, find me.
They can milk you.
Yeah, and we'll monetize it
all day, every day.
Fuck yeah, we'll monetize it. We'll make alien pornos. Yeah, 100%. And I'm your guy. You do not need to force anybody to do anything. I will gladly have sex with as many alien bitches as it takes.
Maybe that's why you've been getting sick, guy. They've been secretly harvesting your sperms and DNA in the night when you're asleep. Have you been waking up with a sore bum hole?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I have. I thought I was just...
Maybe you should...
What's that?
Maybe you should set up a camera when you sleep.
Fuck, guy.
Just to see.
I don't even know if I want to know.
If it does like weird glitchy stuff.
Oh my God.
I agree.
Would you rather not know about it? Imagine you just set up a camera and that's what you saw on the camera. Like, dude, that would fuck me up. I think I would just rather just ignore it. And I just got a sore ass again. Oh, it is what it is. Reproducing the alien race. Doing my part.
They do say ignorance is bliss. Imagine we get invaded and all of them have your face. They're just like tiny little polskas fucking everywhere. And it's like, God damn it, guy. Hey, why did you do that? You gave me. Why?
Yeah, this fucking planet's full of idiots now. What the fuck?
Well, it's nothing's changed. It's the same. But honestly, this is how I think about this. Like, I think it's a lot of it's like a bit of comedy, a bit of fun to play with. But I definitely am concerned about that. Like, if they are going to use this as a control mechanism, I think that's something we need to be mindful of. And you can put a pin in this pod on this date to see if we were talking about it ahead of time. I hope this doesn't come true. I really don't. But then, like, if it does, I'm down for like seeing the resistance. You know what I mean? Like, I want to. If this is going to be a big disinformation campaign, I'm looking forward to the disinformation campaign. You know what I'm saying?
100%, guy. 100%. It bothers me because why can't the people in power just see the bigger picture? Why can't they just have a larger vision? Like, it seems so basic to me that a better world for everybody is a better world for us too. Like, if everyone is prospering, we're prospering even more. Like, they don't have to, what's it called? Like, when you're
constrained.
Yeah, they don't have
to, because they want the control. they don't want other like this. Okay, can we do this a whole pod next week
Yeah, fuck yeah.
into like why people seek power and why they want to elicit it? It's because of an internal fear within themselves. Like part of it. It's a complicated thing, but like I'll put together some stuff and we can try and untangle it.
I'm
But,
down, dude.
That's what it is, really. That really is. It's like they're fearful because they know themselves. It's their world view, their world model that fucks it up. Like that's what it is. And it's why people like that seek power, or why people seek power in general. It's typically because they're trying to fill a void that can't be filled, so to speak. And so it's like this. Yeah, it's a tough game. But yeah, I got to bounce, guy, because I've got some activities to do.
Yeah,
But this
fuck
was
yeah.
this was actually very fun. I do enjoy talking about this shit.
Yo, thank you, God. Thank you. Yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. I just love like conspiracy shit. I don't know why. It's fucking fascinating. And I love like
It is fascinating.
fantasizing about believing in it as well. But then I realize that what we talked about, like it's, people are probably not.
Attention seekers.
Yeah. So it's kind of sucks, but it's kind of good at the same time.
Yeah. No, I think it's fun to allocate a small amount of time and energy to these kinds of things. I think the important thing is don't get trapped or lost or stuck in them. But like a little bit every now and then can be kind of fun. And there's a bit of an escape, a bit of an exploration into the different possibilities. And I think it's important not to close it off, like keep a little bit of an open mind towards it. Because that's how you see opportunities and see the future in a sense.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the content. It's the only way we can really know if we're idiots or not. And
Correct.
all right. Next week then, bro.
Yes, next week we're going to unravel the allure of power, why people want to elicit control. Thank you very much for listening and watching. Guy, have a lovely day or night, and we'll chat soon. Peace, and thanks
Love
for
you,
watching.
bro. Peace.
Love you too, Guy. Bye.